Wholeness. Welcome to Runes of Silvertree. This is the last reading of the Red Serpent season, as well as the last reading of 2021, according to the Gregorian calendar. So I welcome you, and may this message find you well and whole. So, let's get started. Let's just jump right into this reading. The first rune that I pulled for the energy vortex for the human collective, for the mind body, was the pair. And I say the pair because you see two individuals here holding hands. And they're in between the two energies, the energy of the moon and the energy of the sun. And they're holding each other in balance. This is supreme balance of light, of dark, of duality. Everything is this divine dualistic energy, this vibe that I'm getting here of the mind, of consciousness itself. And I get this energy of like a relationship, a partnership, something very sacred that's just in perfect synastry, or what's the word? It's in sync, okay? This energy between these two people, whether it be male, male, female, female, male, female, a parent, a child, a friend, a mentor. It's this beautiful soul connection that I see in this balance of two minds, working as one in true balance. Okay, that's what I have here. And given that this is, the last reading in the last month of the Gregorian calendar, December, and the last reading for the Red Serpent energy and the element of fire, this is incredibly powerful. And you have 4 energies, right? The 4 lines you see, and then you have 2 energies of the moon and the sun, and then equals 6 different energies here. And we're entering into the 2022 energy of the year 6. And so it's incredibly very calming for me. Reading this is just this supreme balance within the mind. And again, our biggest enemy is ourself, is our mind. Our number one competition is our mind, right? It's us, that we are our own competition. And I see that I don't see that competition here. I just see an equilibrium. Moving on to the second rune is the rune of the rabbit, of the heart center. And the rabbit has just been it's just playing a huge role this month of December. The rabbit energy is strong. And a few weeks ago, I mentioned that I actually had a dream of the white rabbit, and I was a caretaker of the white rabbit and its family. And given that this is the heart, because rabbits are very sensitive, they're very sensitive creatures that need to be given shelter, they need to be protected. And I'm seeing that mentally, since there's mental balance, then there's this beautiful, it creates this beautiful space to express yourself and your vulnerabilities and your sensitivities openly within the heart. When the mind is balanced, when the mind is clear, you then have the opportunity to express the heart in also a clear manner. And so I'm just seeing such light innocence with this rabbit medicine of the white rabbit. White is symbolic of purity and of knowingness and of revelation, because white is bright. It's in your face. There's nothing can hide from that. It's a type of light. It gives off light. So being in this space, the rabbit medicine within the heart center, it's like this innocence of the inner child again, and feeling safe in this vulnerability, feeling safe in your sensitivities, having that support, And last but not least, we have the rune for the energy body, okay, for the energy vortex. This is symbolic for the physical materialistic reality, the broken cycle, new path. And it's very interesting that these two runes have just been they were just playing a huge role in, I think, in the deer season as well as the season of the red serpent. And again, it's that breaking of something old to create something new. This new relationship within the heart then opens an opportunity for the body to speak, for the body to express itself and to embrace something new, because the mind and the heart are in balance of each other. That gives the body the freedom to move, to stand still, to truly be in its most honest essence of what it truly is. Okay? So that is the energy vortex reading. Let's move on to the sigil, because I found that incredibly interesting. Okay. So as you can see here, we have the pair. We have this sacred relationship, and it's very innocent. All right. It's very it's almost kind of, it's vulnerable. I see that there's this vulnerable, it can be easily manipulated, but if the mind is in balance, the heart is in balance, and the body's in balance, the two will never break hands. I also see that the broken cycle new path rune is in between. So in order to get to that newness, to that new path, one must be supported. One must anchor themselves with another. And you can get through this, with another. It's more of a challenge, given that the broken cycle new path is in the center of the relationship, of the connection. This is critical for growth. We need that sense of community. We need that friend that we can call on to help us through something, to help us through a transitional phase. And a lot of the time, some people feel a sense of relief at the end of the year, but other times there's just a sense of dread, sense of dreams unfulfilled, anxiety, sometimes even depression. Loneliness is a really big one, because it's a time where so many people are coming together with their families and their immediate families, right? And romantic relationships, everyone is kind of putting their feelers out to connect to someone so they don't have to face themselves. And sometimes it's just not the case. Sometimes it's very lonely. And so it can be incredibly difficult. Okay. So at this time, if you are suffering from loneliness, especially during the holy days or holidays, reach out. Okay. Reach out to someone. Or better yet, if you don't have anyone to reach out to, meaning an intimate relationship whether it be with your parent or your child or your lover or your friend, be of service to someone else. I find that the best medicine in the world when it comes to loneliness is making yourself available to someone else who needs more than you do, who's in an even lower or darker space than you. Because when you enter in that space of like there's purpose, like your life has no meaning, or there's no purpose, or you're lacking self-worth, it's a very, very toxic space to be in. And when you reach out to someone that needs you more, it gives you that, it clears up a lot for you, and it brings out that gratitude. It brings out, your inner emotional resources so that someone can depend on you. When we have someone depending on us in a healthy way, it just really can help you open and expand beyond your own limitations, okay? So let's take a closer look at the sigil here. I see the moon on the top and the full moon at the bottom, with the rabbit there in the center of the full moon. So something is connecting, and there's a newness, a new bond forming. And the moon, which the moon is symbolic for all that is mystery, all that is in the underworld, the emotional ebb and flow, if you will, that water energy. And so the connections being made at this time is very emotional, okay? Very, very, very emotional, and very subconscious and deep. Especially, I'm just getting a strong sense that there may be some of you forming new relationships, okay? This is like emotional relationship. Maybe it's a parent that you've been struggling, to have a healthy relationship with for a long time, and you finally, both of you, reach a moment where you're just truly connecting to the heart, and you're ready to move outside of the old cycle into the new path with each other. And there's just this sense of vulnerability I'm seeing in this full moon, with this rabbit. It's like the light is being shown right on the rabbit. Like you can't. It's almost like the rabbit, because the rabbit eyes in front hunt, and then eyes on the side hide, and the rabbit's really good at hiding. Right? They hide to keep themselves safe. They hide to avoid predators. They hide to avoid conflict. And they're always on the run. But it's hard to be on the run when the spotlight is shining down on you. It's almost like you're on a stage and you're really trying to blend in with the curtain or the backdrop of the play. And then that spotlight just shines right down on you, and you're just feeling the heat of that light, for those of you who've performed on stage. I have, and it can be quite intimidating. At the same time, it's almost empowering. It's almost like that light that shines down on your vulnerabilities is asking you to stand in that, authentic rawness that is you. And given that this is the last reading of the 2021 Gregorian calendar year, it's very beautiful. I just feel this softness, this vulnerability of just being open, being open and taking a risk, because the rabbit is taking a risk being out in the spotlight, because you have that mystery, that new moon, that moon hidden in the back. You don't, it is almost like being on a stage, because you have the spotlight on you, but you know that there's an audience, but you can't see their eyes, but you can feel it. You can feel their attention on you. It's not, and that light is just piercing into you, seeing everything. It's emphasizing your stage makeup and your costume and, your facial expression. Everything is out there. and you can't cower away, you know. And I think with these two people that I'm seeing holding hands, it's like it's okay to stand firm in your weaknesses and your shortcomings. It's a beautiful space, and you're not alone. I'm seeing this tremendously. I'm not going to keep this reading very long because that's all that there is to it. It's very supportive. You know, and if you are going to cut ties with someone, just really be sure it's the right thing. Because again, with that rabbit energy, it's very quick, you know. If it's in that space of fear, it can sometimes make the wrong choices at the wrong time. And it may not, you know, be the right time to end that partnership or to end that job. I mean, there's never really a right time to do anything, but you really don't want to use this time to rush through any major decisions. Regarding relationships, you really want to take your time because it's very gentle. I see that if those of you do kind of, you know, get into the shadow aspect of that rabbit medicine, and you just kind of move very quickly with your decisions, the partnership that you're in, or the relationship that you have with another being could be, and you cut that off, it could be no more. You can try to go back and try to fix things, but it's never going to be the same. This is something that needs to be nurtured, and both parties have to be open to, and it has to be mutual connection. It cannot be forced. And yeah. And I'm hearing the phrase leaving behind, like leaving behind something for something new. Okay. And so if you're being called to start a new relationship or partnership of any kind, I'm not just speaking romantically here. I mean like of any kind, and you're being called to leave something behind, honor that and respect that, because the light is being shown on you at this time, this week, this month, this moment. And it's very powerful, and it's very supportive, and just there's a lot of love, incredible amount of love. So I'm going to end this reading here. And yes, it's a bit short this week, you know, because it's just the end. It's an end. But the end is always a beginning, and the beginning, there's an end to something. And so may this message find you well and whole. As always, please check out my complimentary YouTube channel called Seeds of Silvertree, where I share art conversations with you, and I display my DIY projects for that involves conscious clothing, sewing clothes, woodworking, and all the like. Those projects will become more and more it'll take shape next year. And yeah, I'm really, really thankful for all the support and all the subscribers in this year. I really appreciate all of you. And may your exit out of this timeline and into the new one be of ease, of joy, of gratitude, forgiveness, and most importantly, love. Expand your consciousness. Embrace supreme love and guidance so that you can evolve your human being. Wholeness.